Kelly Morris, and I'm the Graduation and Job Placement Specialist here at Calhoun. Basically, I work in career services, and so we're glad you're here to learn more about choosing your major, okay? Feeling confident about that decision. Because it's one thing just to mark something on a sheet of paper, right, on an application, but it's another about feeling good and confident and moving forward in that choice, okay? So we have some help here with us. We're going to have fun today, okay? This is not us lecturing at you for an hour, okay? It's more of an interactive kind of session, so I promise you will not be bored to death through this presentation. So how many of you have declared a major on paper? Not yet? Not yet? Kind of, sort of? How many of you have something in mind maybe that you're interested in possibly pursuing? That's good. That's where you start. And then sometimes we have a couple of things in mind, right? Sometimes it's between 2 or 3, and they may be totally different. I'm interested in either being a cosmetologist or an engineer. Great. Both viable options, non-related, right? So we're going to talk through some of those processes of how do we land on something? How do we feel confident in that decision? So I want to ask you a few questions. What percentage of college-bound students haven't chosen a major? Actually, 60%. So here's the thing, guys, you are not alone, okay? There may be only a few people in this room, but there are hundreds and possibly even thousands of students right here at Calhoun who are undecided about their major, okay? So, and that's just not here at Calhoun, that's across the board. So that means the people at Alabama or Auburn who are paying that tuition that are undecided, there's undecided students there too. Just because you pay more for tuition or just because you're in another state or go to an Ivy League school doesn't mean that those students are any different than the issues you have here. Of those that declare major, how many change it? So 75% of them change it at least once, okay? So why do you think that is? Why do people change their mind, change their major?
Doesn't appeal to them.
Okay, they get into it and they're like, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. This isn't as fun, right? I didn't realize I had to have this much math. Well, I went on a job shadow and that was kind of boring. I realized it wasn't really what I thought it was in my head, right? So there are several factors that go into that. What percentage of students who start their 4-year degree still have not earned it in 6 years? You start off, you say you want to earn a bachelor's degree in what? Give me something. Nursing. Okay, good. So I want to earn a bachelor's degree in nursing. And typically, how long does a bachelor's degree take? 4 years if it all goes well, right? So 4 years, and then I'm ready to transition to the workplace, okay? But what this is saying is, even after 6 years, there's up to 40% of students who have yet to earn even a bachelor's degree of any kind. Why is that? Why do you think it takes them so long? Why have they not finished yet?
Switching majors.
Okay, that's definitely a possibility, switching majors. Because what happens when we switch majors? Well, it's very possible that some of the classes that we've already taken and passed and moved on from aren't the same classes that are needed for the next major that I change it to, right? So that's very possible. What are some other issues that come into play with not completing a degree? Okay, yeah, it costs money, right? So sometimes if we're lucky enough to have scholarships or financial aid, or even our parents or ourselves if we're working, that money, it costs money to go to college, okay? Whether it's a 2-year school, a 4-year school, graduate school, it all costs money, okay? And sometimes that money expires after, your scholarship is only good for so many years or so many classes. And so that financial burden is absolutely a possibility. So all kinds of things factor in, but that is another benefit of having a defined major and feeling confident about that, is so that we have less of that wishy-washy, changing classes, therefore these classes aren't any good anymore, that sort of thing. All right, last one, y'all ready? What was the average student loan debt in Alabama in 2013? What do you think about coming out of college with $29,000 in student loans? How would you feel?
Stressed.
Okay, stressed. Kind of a burden, right, financially. Do student loans only apply when you graduate? No. They apply whether you graduate, or whether you quit going, or whatever the happenstance may be. If you borrow money, they're there. It's there. Okay? So it's your debt to repay. Why is this number sufficient to choosing a major? How does this pertain to choosing a major?
You want to pick the right major.
Yeah, you want to pick the right major. You want to pick the right college. You want to be able to plan for that, so that hopefully we can get out with as little debt as possible, right? In addition to the stats that we just saw through our little game, this is from the National Center for Education Statistics, and it says that 30% of freshmen do not return for their sophomore year. So we kind of see where those people fall. So out of, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's say including there's about 10 people in here. Okay, so you all start a class together your freshman year. Next semester, or even the next year, 3 of them are gone. Okay, so and that's in a good case scenario. Really. All right, 38% of freshmen pursuing a bachelor's degree will graduate in 4 years. Okay, so that goes back to 60% of them not finished yet. And that number goes down if you're undeclared or undecided about your major going in. Okay. Declared students starting their junior year graduated in 4 years. 74% of the decided majors going into their junior year actually finished. Now that's pretty good, right? 3 out of 4? We're getting better. But we've got a couple of years under our belt, right? And 50% changed their major at least one time. Okay, and there's several statistics that go back and forth, and they look at different populations and how many times they change their mind and what they do and how they go about it and that sort of thing. But it's okay to realize, I don't know what I want to be. That's a hard decision. Okay, so I applaud you for taking the initiative to be here today and kind of talking through and working through those things, because it's okay to not know, but it's not okay to stay that way, right? So that's why you're here. So we hope to help you through that today. So we're going to start off with the decision-making process. Anybody ever had to make a decision before? I mean, this is not your first rodeo in making decisions, right? Today, what kind of decisions did you have to make today?
Waking up this morning.
Yeah, waking up. What am I going to wear? First of all, am I going to get up? Am I going to... it's rainy. It's Monday. It's rainy. Am I going to get up and go today? Right? What am I going to wear? What's for breakfast? So many of those little things, right? We don't think about those because those are part of our daily life. We're used to that. And so for the first 12 years of your life or so, or 12 years from kindergarten to graduation, you are used to that kind of mentality, right? Get up, go to school, do my work, progress to the next grade, life is good, okay? And then one day, as a senior in high school, the time that you've always looked forward to, it's here. And then you get to graduate. And then what? Well, then there's no 13th grade, right? This is a big decision. This is, we kind of consider this, maybe a life-changing experience or a life choice, okay? And so this is hard. This isn't like what's for breakfast, because I can change my mind and have a toaster strudel instead of cereal. Or if I don't like toaster strudel, I can have cereal. This is a little different though, right? So we need to be aware of the decision-making process. First of all, you know you need to make a choice. You know you need to make a choice. That's why you're here, okay? Realizing that and moving forward from that. Understanding my options. And you'll see that our goals for this workshop are kind of reflected in our decision-making process here, okay? Narrowing my list of options depending on understanding my options. Okay, there may be 30,000 job titles. I can guarantee that 29,950 of them are not for me. Okay, but I've got to know what those are and to start the filter process, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about the filter. Evaluate, choosing a major, a job, an occupation, a pathway, and then acting, implementing my choice to make myself feel more confident and move forward with my goals. And then finally, reflecting and knowing that you made the right choice. Okay? All right, so that's where we're headed. How many of you have ever responded to a question in these responses? What would we respond sure to? It doesn't matter. I don't care. What movie you want to see? I don't care. Where do you want to go eat? I don't know. What do you want? Right? Those kind of things. It's like, do you want to go to college? Sure. Yeah. Well, you'll need to find, you need to fill out this application. Fine. Well, you're going to need to go to this class, whatever. And we kind of take that stance on life decisions. Okay? Sure, fine, whatever. Even if we progress through college that way, we'll probably end up on the other side with not the best result. Okay? For example, what kind of degree do a lot of students declare when they're not decided? Here at Calhoun, we have something that's intended for students who are going to transfer to a four-year institution when they finish with us. Anybody know what that is? It's called General Studies. Okay, anybody ever heard of that? General Studies? Okay. So sometimes when you come in undecided, that's what you're, that's a good option. Going to put in General Studies. That leaves my, my options open. I'm going to take some basics. How many of y'all have heard that? Right? Just going to take some basics. Going to figure it out. Fine. That's fine. Except once you take your basics, you're like, I still don't know. I don't care. I haven't really seen my sign on the side of the road that says, hey, do this. Go here. Do this. Okay? And so a lot of times we just kind of mumble through. Sure, fine, whatever. And then you end up on the other side, and I have students who come to me, and they've achieved, they've earned a degree in general studies, and they come to me and they say, what can I do with this? And I smile very nicely, and I say, you can hang it on your wall. And I don't say that to be ugly, right? But is that the way it's meant to be? Is that the way this process is meant to work? No. Okay? Ideally, what are some decisions that we want to make early? Is it your major? Is it your college? Is it your career? What are you thinking of? What do you think needs to be made first? Ideally, in an ideal world, what would you want to know first? What would best allow you to prepare? Okay, a major. All right. How would you choose a major?
I would select what I do.
Okay, based on what you like to do. That's a good option. What happens when you're in high school and transitioning to college? What's the first decision that you're forced to make, kind of time-wise? You got to apply, right? Apply here. Even if you don't think you're going, apply so that you're ready. Okay, so that's an option. So you're pushed into college options, which is fine. That's fine. That's timetable-wise, that's totally understandable. So we go to a college, and on the application, we have to fill out a major from a drop box, right? Here's a list of our majors. Choose one. Okay? So we choose a major. It may be something we're interested in. It may be just a luck of the draw that we feel froggy about that day. It may be something that our boyfriend or our girlfriend's interested in. It may be something that our parents told us that we should always do. We're going to choose a major that day. So we go into that. We meet with our advisor. They outline the list of classes to help us get started on that track. Okay. There's that sure fine whatever again, right? Just do that. Okay, I'll do that. Well, then if you go far enough, you'll finish. And then on the other side of that, it's like, what am I gonna do now? I have this here, a piece of paper. And now what am I gonna do? Ideally, not the best case scenario. Best case scenario, I'm looking ahead of that, right? I'm looking past college, because college is temporary, unless you're me, and then you work here. You go so long, you work here, okay? But college is what is the purpose of college?
Prepare you for your job.
There you go, right? To help you prepare, to get you ready, to help you earn the credentials and the education that you need in order to be successful in whatever, right? Some of you said you had something in mind. Did somebody share something that you're possibly contemplating as far as a career is concerned? What do you think? Business, okay. All right, very good. Do you know what you would like to do with that?
Well, I'm not sick work, histology.
Okay, so that would kind of lead into that. I see. So you could own your own business, and you would know the business side, right? You wouldn't have to depend on someone else to make those decisions, those accounting, keep your books, and bank accounts, and those sort of things. Okay, that's great. Okay, so with the whole purpose of college or any type of training and education to prepare you for, how many of y'all went to a 7 Habits school? Begin with the, oh, come on.
I forgot.
Begin with the end in mind, right? What are the habits of, 7 habits of highly successful students, right? So begin with the end in mind. So what is the end? What's our goal? Okay, yeah, that's going to be part of our graduate so we can go into our career. Yeah, to have a job that we can enjoy. Very good. So that's our ultimate, because guys, sometimes it may seem like you've been in school a long time, and you have, okay? But look at that in comparison to how long you're going to be working. Yeah, that's fun. Okay? Because most of us have about 30 good years plus of our careers. Okay? Now that doesn't mean you're going to be doing the same thing all day, every day for 30 years. I hope not. I sure hope that's not me. Okay? But at the same time, we need to start with that end in mind. What is that career? Where do I see myself? Ideally, in an ideal world, what if I could do anything, what would I be? What would I do? What does my life 20 years from now look like? Work backward from that. What's going to prepare me to be in that position? What type of training or education do I need? What type of major is going to make me most marketable, right? And then looking at what colleges offer that major. The beautiful thing about starting at Calhoun is truly you can start here and go anywhere. You can stay here with us and do a 2-year technical degree. You can stay here and transfer into whatever degree major is going to make you most marketable in that career. Okay? The good thing is you're at a great place right now to make some decisions and not feel pressured. Okay? But instead of this surefire whatever mentality, we need to change that into this sort of reality. Okay? Combination of what you love, what pays well, and what you're good at. Now notice, we have a combination of 2 of those things. We're getting there, right? We're getting there. But where do we want to be? In an ideal situation, I want to be right there in the middle, right? I want a combination of all of that. Do you think you can be good at something and not want to do that for a career? Yeah. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you want to, right? Just because you want to do something doesn't mean necessarily that someone's going to pay you to do that, right? Nobody's going to pay me to sing or dance or anything like that, okay? What about if I go just for the money? How many of y'all have not thought about money whatsoever? Yeah, right. That's probably one of the first things that come to mind when we talk about careers, right? But why should I not choose a major solely based on money? It's a possibility, right? Possibility.
Get bored of it, won't be happy with it.
Okay, get bored. You know, and look at the oranges. And it kind of helps us, you know, what if I just do one or the other? You know, I'm good at it and it pays well, but I don't love it, it's going to be short term, right? If I love it and it pays well, but I'm not good at it, then nobody's going to hire me to do that. Or if I'm good at it and I love it, but it's a volunteer job, that's not going to be, I mean, you know, let's face it, that's not going to be a long-term solution for anybody, right? So we need to take all of this into consideration. And so Taylor's going to help us put all of this together and start thinking about some self-awareness, some self-importance, because guys, you have to put yourself first in this equation, okay? There are several things to consider when choosing a major, and you come at the top. You. Not mama, not daddy, not boyfriend, not husband, not wife, children, no, it's yours.